Barry Zito picked up his 100th career win. Today he looks for the 15th of this season. It's game 3 of a 3-game series between the Red Sox and the A's. Hi everybody, I'm Don Orsillo. Welcome to Red Sox baseball. The Red Sox trying to salvage the last game of this 3-game series. And another milestone here today for Curt Schilling, who needs 1 strikeout to pick up his career 3,000th. What a pitching matchup we have today. 2 of the American League's best going head-to-head, and Curt Schilling and Barry Zito both tied for the league lead in starts, both with 14 wins. A league leader 16 for Roy Halladay, who the Red Sox ironically will see tomorrow. Both pitchers in the top 5 in innings pitched in this great matchup today between Curt Schilling and Barry Zito. We welcome in Jerry Remy. And Jerry, the news today that Coco Crisp is out of what is already a depleted lineup for the Red Sox.
Don, it's been a long time I think you've seen a Red Sox team go on a road trip like they have through the West Coast and have such dismal offensive numbers. And you're right, Coco Crisp a late scratch from the lineup today to make things even worse. And when you look at what's happened so far on this trip, it's hard to believe that they've hit at 188 as a team, only averaging just over 2 runs per game, 6 home runs, 3 of those by David Ortiz before being sent back to Boston. And look at the numbers with runners in scoring position, only 149. And quite frankly, you're not going to win many games when the offense is like that. Now you look at last night, Josh Beckett pitching a terrific game for the Red Sox, trying to do his part. Red Sox offense could not come through for him. Today, Curt Schilling, as you mentioned, going for his 3,000th strikeout, and he hopes to get some kind of run support. I think the way the pitchers are feeling right now, look, if I get 3 runs, maybe I got a good chance if I can hold them down. So this has been, I've never seen anything like this as long as I've been around. A road trip where you've almost lost a player per day as you go through it, and of course the results on the offense have not been very good. We'll see what happens this afternoon. This is Curt Schilling's personal day today to get a real milestone for him, but he needs some help. He needs some help in the offense to get some runs for him.
Been great moments in a Red Sox uniform, and today another milestone for Curt. Everybody, welcome back to McAfee Coliseum for the 3rd and final game between the Red Sox and the A's. Let's check out the Red Sox starting 9. Leading off in a late change is Kevin Youkilis in left field, Alex Cora at shortstop, with Mark Loretta, the designated hitter, Mike Lowell at third base, Gabe Kapler in center field, Doug Maripelli doing the catching, Eric Hinske in right, Justin Pedroia at second base, and the first baseman is Carlos Pena batting 9th. As the Red Sox today face Barry Zito.
Barry Zito, 14-8 on the season. The 3.64 ERA is 7th best in the American League. And Zito making his 3rd start of the year against the Red Sox. He is 1-1 against Boston with an 8.10 ERA in his 2 starts.
Youkilis with a check swing foul, and quickly Kevin's down 0-2.
And Zito has pitched very well recently, Don. His last 2 outings, wins against Kansas City and Texas. In both of those games, going 8 innings and 8 1/3 innings, giving up a total of 3 earned runs.
Youkilis originally in the 4th spot on the Red Sox order today, but the late change before game time as Coco Crisp injuring himself last night on the diving catch out in center field, and during batting practice today tried to give it a go and not in the lineup this afternoon, listed as day-to-day. Youkilis moving from the 4th spot to the leadoff spot, which he's done very much this year. Strikes out to begin the afternoon.
Anytime you see Zito throw a curveball like that, that's an excellent sign for him. Let's take a look at the Oakland defense. It's brought to you by your New England Ford dealers. 4th in the league with 71 errors on the season. Eric Chavez at third base. Marco Scutero, the shortstop. Mark Ellis at second and Nick Swisher at first. Left to right, Bobby Kelty, Mark Kotze, and Jay Payton. And Jason Kendall once again behind the plate doing the catching for Zito.
1 down for Alex Cora.
First strikeout of the afternoon for Barry Zito on his patented curveball. Nasty curveball.
In there for strike 2, and it's 0-2 to Cora.
His strikeout high in the season, 11. He did that against the Angels back in June.
264, no homers and 14 runs batted in. This is outside. 57 degrees to begin the ball game last night. Here today, 74 degrees under nothing but blue skies and sunshine in Oakland. Evens up now, 2-2 to Cora. The New York Yankees today playing a day-night doubleheader against the Tigers. The Yankees enjoy a 2-0 lead in the 9th inning in New York in the first game. Full count now to Cora.
Red Sox will see the fastball, curveball, slider, and changeup today from Barry Zito.
Cora 5 for his last 34. Alex hitting at 147 over the last 10 contests. Strikes out. It's back-to-back Ks to begin the day for Barry Zito.
First strikeout on the curveball, the Euclid. The second strikeout on Cora, the fastball. Up and away from Alex Cora. So a quick start here for Barry Zito here in the first inning.
2 down from Mark Loretta. Mark back in the DH spot again today, hitting at 300 with 4 homers and 51 runs batted in. And so far 0 for 7 in the series against the A's. This one foul down the left field line and land near the Oakland bullpen. Beyond it, back into the seats.
A's always do pretty well on these early afternoon games. The decent crowd here this afternoon, not as big as it's been the first couple of nights of the series.
First 2 games of the series, both the 30,000 plus. This one popped up back at first, sending Swisher back there to make the catch. It's a 13 pitch 1-2-3 first for Barry Zito. The A's coming up. Last half of the first inning back in Oakland. Curt Schilling on the hill today for the Red Sox.
And looking for his first win since back on August the 4th. That was at Tampa Bay. Since that time, a couple of losses and 2 no decisions. You see the numbers against the A's this year very well. 2-0. A 178 average against Schilling in his 2 starts against Oakland. Of course, 167 strikeouts for Curt. That's 3rd in the American League.
Jason Kendall leading it off here for the A's in the bottom of the first inning. And taking strike 1. Kendall starting the day, hitting at 290 with a home run, 36 runs batted in. Curt Schilling coming up just 1 shy of 3,000 last time out. He had 7 strikeouts against the Seattle Mariners in his last outing. Kendall lines it out towards right center. They were shallow, and this will get Bible for the track and the wall as Kendall heads for second base with a leadoff double here in the bottom of the first inning.
All through the series, the Red Sox have been playing Kendall shallow in right field, and they do that. Just about every team does that. This time he finds the gap, though, on the fastball between Hinske and Kapler and chases it all the way back to the wall. So the leadoff double for Kendall.
It's the 48th double allowed by Curt Schilling. That's the most in the American League. That is 20 for Kendall on the season. And he's in scoring position to begin things here in the bottom of the first for Nick Swisher. Swisher has been batting towards the bottom of the order, moved up to number 2. It's showing bunt as he drops it foul down the third baseline.
Boy, that's so unusual, especially for the Athletics and the Red Sox, as a matter of fact, to be bunting this early in a ball game. And Swisher, a guy that has 28 home runs.
It's a 249 with those 28 home runs, 77 runs batted in on the season. There's 2 sacrifice bunts on the season. And not bunting this time as he takes a ball 1-1. The last 13 games he's hit at just 200, 9 for his last 45. 28 home runs for Swisher, an Oakland single season record for a switch hitter, and the most by an American League switch hitter this season. Offset foul, and it's 2-2.
Swisher, a guy that has struck out 122 times on the season, so maybe he'll become number 3,000 for Kurt Schilling.
2-2 the count to Nick Swisher. In the dirt, and a full count now to Nick Swisher. Ninth start of the season for Kurt Schilling. Ties him for the lead in that category in the American League. He and Barry Zito both making their 29th starts of the season today. Oh, the 3-2 pitch to Swisher. Struck him out, and there is strikeout number 3,000 for Kurt Schilling. Only the 14th pitcher in Major League history to have struck out 3,000. Shonda and the kids in Seattle as Kurt came up one shy last time and getting it out of the way early here today.
And it looked like the split-fingered fastball, Don, to get the strikeout against Swisher.
Well, Mark Kotsay batting now. Schilling has that behind him as Kendall now at second base as the strike in there makes it 0-2.
Number 3,000 on the splitter from Schilling. And a nice little ovation from the fans here at the Coliseum.
Nice of the A's to recognize his accomplishment here today. The announcement over the public address system as soon as he struck out Nick Swisher. A lot of times in those situations you'll see it maybe on a scoreboard somewhere, but the recognition immediate here in Oakland. 2-2 now to Mark Kotsay. Now look at the 3,000 club, and of course, Jerry, you had the chance to play behind and with Nolan Ryan, who's at the top of that list.
Yeah, what's Ryan? Way over 5,000. Yeah.
Incredible list, of course, the guys in gold there, active. As this one sent foul back to the backstop.
Saw a lot of Roger Clemens' strikeouts on the field and, of course, in the broadcast booth. And faced many of the other guys in that 3,000 club.
Nolan Ryan, 5,714 on the top of that list. The second guy you mentioned, Roger Clemens, at the moment 4,566. On the ground, Pedroia ranging to his right, stumbles for a moment, but still has time to get Kotsay. Over to third goes Jason Kendall with 2 down.
El Pedroia going to his right, and again deciding to front the baseball instead of backhanding it. And of course a little bit off balance after that, but still has time to throw out Kotsay at first base. So the strikeout was big. That kept the man at second base. He can advance to third, but now 2 outs.
So 2 down, Kendall at third for Frank Thomas. It's one in the air to deep left down the line, bending towards the pole, and a foul ball. He's racing over as far as he could go as Kevin Youkilis.
Thomas has done this a couple of times in this series, hooking the ball foul to go along with the home run he had here in game 1 of the series.
Strike 2 as he takes it, and it's 0-2 now to Frank Thomas. .267 for Thomas, 28 home runs and 78 runs batted in now. In the last 33 games, he's hit at a .327 clip. That's one in the air out towards left center field. Over goes Youkilis. Back onto the warning track to make the catch. So out of the first inning is Schilling as we are scoreless after one. Top half of the second inning, scoreless after an inning. The Red Sox were down in order in the first on 13. Barry Zito pitches. And he deals with Mike Lowell to begin things here in the second inning. Old Kapler and Mirabelli scheduled in the inning. 288, 15 homers and 62 runs batted in for Mike Lowell. Center field and into center for a base hit. So first hit of the day for the Red Sox. Lowell's aboard to begin things here in the second inning.
Change up from Barry Zito, and right toward the end of the bat for Lowell. Lowell had a couple of hits in the ball game last night. Tonight moved to the this afternoon moved to the cleanup spot and picks up the base hit to start off the second inning.
There's Gabe Kapler. Coco Crisp came out of the original starting lineup today for the Red Sox. A reshuffle of epic proportions for the Red Sox as Lowell moving up into the cleanup spot. Youkilis going to the leadoff spot, and Kapler moving up as well as he bats in behind Lowell here.
I think once I get off that plane tonight, I'm going to go right to the store to get more whiteout. It's been a tough trip for whiteout.
Yes, it has.
This is the play that apparently Coco Crisp hurt his shoulder on. A great play, diving in center field. But today, some stiffness, and apparently the shoulder is the information we have, and a late scratch from the lineup, a very late scratch.
Calling it a left shoulder strain, and he's listed as day-to-day. So if my math is right, that leaves the Red Sox with Javi Lopez on the bench.
Your math is absolutely correct, Don.
And he is the other catcher, which you would not be apt to use unless you need to. As the Red Sox, a couple of guys there on either side of him, injured at the moment. Wakefield on one side, Gonzalez on the other. This one line to left and gets by Kelty. Weird misplay, and as it gets by him to the track and the wall, Lowell's headed for third. And to second goes Kapler. Kelty looked like he may have been in between, but it is a double for Gabe Kapler.
Yeah, he looked very unsure right from contact on that line drive from Kapler, and he didn't quite sure. Looked like he was going to back off it or be able to make the catch, and eventually the ball does get by him. So the Red Sox end up with runners at second and third and nobody out. As Lowell hesitating in case the ball was caught. Once it gets by him, he can move on to third base.
So second and third with nobody out, and a golden opportunity here for the Red Sox in the second inning. As Doug Mirabelli takes the strike from Barry Zito. Red Sox so far 1 for 13 with runners in scoring position in the series. Chance here with runners at second and third and nobody out. Pops it in there for strike two, and it's 0-2.
And Mirabelli complaining that ball was too high. Curveball is so good from Barry Zito. It's tough to hit. Sometimes it's tough to call for an umpire. Doug Eddings behind the plate this afternoon.
Belly over the last 9 games hitting at 194. He was 7 for his last 36. And catching back-to-back games here, catching last night and today. Strike three call. They're available. This telecast can be heard in Spanish by selecting the SAP button on your television remote. Enjoy the game.
Buenas tardes, amigos.
3 strikeouts now for Zito.
And again, that curveball, and again, I don't think it's one that Mirabelli agrees with. The same height, that time toward the outside corner.
So 1 down, 2nd and 3rd for Eric Hinske. He waves at the first one.
That's the slider from Zito. We mentioned the curveball, slider, changeup, and fastball. Slider to Hinske.
252, 12 homers for Hinske. Breaking ball for strike 2, and it's 0-2. Hinske was not in the original starting lineup today. Foul tipped and not held onto by Kendall. Hinske stays alive. Hinske starting the first 2 games of the series, 2 for 8 in the series against the A's with an RBI. His first RBI in a Red Sox uniform.
I see the Yankee game as the final game 1 of that day-night doubleheader. A 2-0 Yankee win over Detroit.
Off the glove of Ellis and into right from third comes Lowell, and the Red Sox take a 1-0 lead. Kapler ends up at third, and Hinske able to drive in his second run in a Red Sox uniform.
A pretty good battle put on by Hinske, you know, facing a tough left-hander, a lot of breaking balls, and finally able to make the contact on the curveball toward the end of the bat, hooking it, and Ellis makes a nice effort for it, but it bounces off the glove on the dive. So the Red Sox take the 1-0 lead. Hinske picks up his 31st RBI of the season.
That's his first ever hit against Barry Zito. He had been 0 for 6. A 1-0 Red Sox lead, 1st and 3rd with 1 down. And here's Dustin Pedroia. Pedroia hitting at 120 so far, no homers and no runs batted in. 3 for 25 in the majors. And ahead of the count now, 2-0. This is the first lead the Red Sox have had in a game since Saturday in Seattle. Red Sox had the lead, and Mike Timlin relinquishing it in the 8th inning. And they come from behind victory for the Mariners.
2-0 changeup that time from Zito to Pedroia. Probably don't see many of those down at the AA, AAA level. 2-0 changeups.
The Oakland A's with another victory here last night, as the Angels were losing again to Seattle. So it's now a 7.5 game lead for the A's in the American League West. Pedroia pops it up from second base. Mark Ellis into short right to make the catch. Let's check in with Tom Caron. TC.
Hi, Don. Thanks. It's our New England Toyota dealer game break. And indeed, the Yankee game is now final. Mariano Rivera on to get his 32nd save, closing out a 4-hit shutout effort. 3 Yankee pitchers combining, including Chin-Ming Wang, who pitched 7 2/3 innings. 2-0 the final. Guys.
Thanks, Tom. Back here at McAfee Coliseum in Oakland, California. It's a 1-0 Red Sox lead. And Boston looking for more here with runners at 1st and 3rd and 2 down. Here's Carlos Pena, making his 3rd straight start at first base for Boston. Runner goes at first to Bluff. No throw from Kendall, and into second base with a theft goes Eric Hinske.
Well, we saw Hinske run last night, was thrown out at second base. This time no throw from Jason Kendall in that 1st and 3rd situation.
2 in scoring position here for Carlos Pena. And around, so home plate umpire Doug Eddings. 1 for 6 so far in a Red Sox uniform. The 28-year-old making his Red Sox debut here on Monday night at Oakland against these A's, a team that he played for in 2002. He's also been in the majors with the Texas Rangers and mostly with the Detroit Tigers. Breaking ball drops in there for a strike, 1-2. The key matchup is brought to you by Acura. Some pretty good numbers for him against Barry Zito, including 2 home runs.
And 2 of the 5 hits against Zito, home runs for Carlos Pena.
Moves him back. The pitch inside, 2-2. 3 strikeouts for Barry Zito. Kapler at third, Hinsky at second, 2 down. Swing and a miss. Big strikeout for Zito. Red Sox lead 2 in scoring position, but get a run. 1-0 Boston. Last half of the second inning. Eric Chavez leading it off. Boston on top, 1-0. Chavez checks in at 240, 16 home runs and 57 runs batted in. Swing and a miss has him down 0-2. Curt Schilling getting that 3,000th strikeout out of the way as he strikes out Nick Swisher in the first inning. Chavez takes ball 1, 1-2. Take a look at the batters who Schilling has struck out the most. Rich Aureli at the top with 22 is tied with Andres Galarraga and Marquise Grissom. Schilling getting each of those guys 22 times. As it's popped up right side, Pedroia puts it away, and let's check in with Tina Cervasio. Tina?
Don, as you and Jerry mentioned in the first inning, Curt Schilling now becomes the 14th pitcher in Major League history to reach the 3,000 strikeouts milestone, and Curt is very aware of his place in baseball history.
When you grow up a baseball fan and you're over a century into the game and you're talking about doing something that only 13 other people have ever done, that's the kind of the thing that kind of catches me a little bit. Or from a perspective standpoint that I think is pretty cool.
Now, while that was his 3,000th career strikeout, that was only his 7th strikeout here at McAfee Coliseum. Don?
All right, thanks very much, Gina. Yes, he has that 3,000th strikeout out of the way as the first out here of the second inning. Now this one chopped up behind second. Cora on the move. Throws out Jay Payton.
Got an idea. We still have 7 innings left, 7+ in this game. Why don't you read every one of the strikeouts he's had throughout his major league career? You got the whole list in front of you.
All right, let's start with A. Kurt Abbott, Bobby Abreu, Juan Acevedo, Russ Adams, Terry Adams, Manny Alexander, Edgardo Alfonso, Luis Alicea. I remember Jermaine Allensworth, Aziz Salou, Rich Amaral. We're not even out of the A's yet. You really want to do this? 2 down for Bobby Kelty. He takes the strike. Well, his first strikeout, Todd Benzinger, who was with the Red Sox at the time back in 1988. 1,000 Darren Dreifert for the Dodgers. Went out to center field, sending Kapler back, still going at the track. It's up and it's gone. That one carried. And Kelty picks up his 7th home run of the year, and just like that, ties the game at 1.
Well, this ballpark much different during the day than at night. It travels much better here when the sun is out, and straightaway center field for Bobby Kelty. To tell what that pitch was exactly from Schilling. It might have been a cutter. And Kelty hooks it up over that wall at 400 feet in center field.
That's the 27th home run allowed by Curt Schilling on the season. 22 of them on the road. His 5 of them at Fenway, as this one is lifted in the air to short left field. Battling the sun is Youkilis. And he makes the catch on Scutaro to end the inning. Home run for Bobby Kelty has tied the game 1 aside. Kevin Youkilis leads it off here in the top half of the 3rd inning, tied at 1 as Bobby Kelty. It's a home run here for the A's to erase the 1-run deficit. As Youkilis pops it up. Foul ground for Nick Swisher. 1 down here in the 3rd.
Well, tonight on the Boston Globe Sports Plus, Dan Shaughnessy and Jackie McMullen will join host Bob Newmeyer to talk about the Red Sox recent woes. They'll also go one-on-one with BC head coach Tom O'Brien on the eve of the Eagles season opener. The Boston Globe Sports Plus, a special time tonight at 7:30, right after Red Sox coverage.
1 down for Alex Cora, struck out swinging in the 1st inning. 4 strikeouts on the day so far for Barry Zito. Mention the 7.5 game lead now for the Oakland A's over the Angels. A's have now won 20 games in the month of August. 5th time in the last 6 years. It's kind of a recurring theme. The second half's been great, but especially August for these A's. Second consecutive day that they've been in first place, and look at the record in August, the best in the major leagues. He's playing a lot of baseball at home. They're beginning a stretch of 19 of 25 games here in Oakland. As this one lofted to center, sending Kotze back for out number 2.
If you're going to miss any part of today's game, come back to NESN tonight at 8 for a special presentation of Sox into prime time. We'll replay a 2-hour version of today's game, so you won't want to miss a thing. That's tonight at 8, only on NESN.
So 2 down for Mark Loretta. And there for a strike. The last time the A's had a 7.5 game lead atop the American League West, going to go back to September 26th of 1992. It's been a while in what has been a tightly contested American League West. It really was through the first half of the season. The A's finally getting some separation between them and the rest of the pack. Look at fantastic home record for the A's, 38-26. There's a swing and a miss for Loretta, has him down 1-2.
Now this curveball so far today has been outstanding for Zito.
Talk about the August for the A's as a team. For Barry Zito, he's 3-1 with a 3.78 ERA. He had 5 starts in the month of August. Overall in his career, 21-14 month of August. Just missing. Tried to grab that corner, and it's 2-2 to Loretta.
And not missing by very much.
And not missing at all this time. 13 pitch, 1-2-3 inning for Zito, 5 Ks. We're 1-1 ball game into the bottom of the 3rd inning. And Mark Ellis leading it off, taking the first pitch strike from Schilling. Nine 1-2 for the A's here in the 3rd inning as Ellis gets into one to deep left. Youkilis going back, looking up, and it is gone. Number 9 man Mark Ellis goes deep for the 10th time this season. Second home run of the day off Curt Schilling, and the A's take a 2-1 lead.
I was not quite sure what the first pitch was for a home run on Kelty, but there's no question this is the curveball from Schilling. Ellis, number 10 on the season.
The catcher, number 18, Jason.
Stayed down and in, and Ellis finds his way over the scoreboard in left field for the home run.
It's Ellis' second home run against the Red Sox this season. So 2 of the now 10 home runs he enjoys against Boston. Jason Kendall doubled in the first inning, was left at third base. Schilling was able to get out of the inning unscathed, got Frank Thomas to fly out deeply to left field to end the first inning. It's now 28 home runs given up by Schilling, 23 of them on the road. On the ground and through into left field, a base hit for Kendall. He's 2 for 2.
Kendall's had pretty good success against Schilling. A .262 coming into the game. 3 home runs against Kurt, and already 2 for 2 in this game. He started the game off with a double, and now picks up the base hit on a ground ball between third and short. Now, Kendall's really been hot for a long time now here in the second half of the season. That's made a huge difference from that leadoff spot.
The last 17 games coming in today, Kendall hitting at .389. The 42 games since the break at .329. As he fouls this one off, does Nick Swisher, who struck out back in the first. He became strikeout number 3,000 for Curt Schilling. Up down from first comes Pena in front of the mound. Now gives way to Lowell, who calls him off. Steps around him and makes the catch for out number 1.
Maybe a little bit of angle with the sun situation here this afternoon for Lowell to make that play than Pena. Very bright, no clouds up above. Looks like all day games are like that here at the Coliseum. Ball very high up in the ASC. Schilling pointing it out. It looks like at first it's going to be Pena. But here comes Lowell to call him off very late and make the one-handed catch.
One down, Kendall at first base, and here's Mark Kotze grounded out to second base. His first time up now, drives one by the second baseman Pedroia into center. Kendall headed for third base, he'll get there easily, and it's first and third now with 1 down.
Well, very aggressive are the Athletics right now against Curt Schilling. Again, that looks like the cut fastball from Schilling. Good solid hard contact by Kotze. And some first and third action for Oakland. It just seems like the A's right now are playing with a ton of confidence.
A lot of health issues on this A's team, like a lot of teams this year. And getting a lot of those guys back. Still 3 guys on the DL. They're winning in the absence of those guys. And as that lead grows in the American League West, you're right, it does seem like the confidence is at an all-time high right now for the A's. A lot of home games remaining for Oakland. As Frank Thomas hitting one to the warning track in left field his first time up. 0 for 1 today. Lines it into left field this time. From third comes Jason Kendall. This puts Oakland on top 3-1.
Again, the cutter, it looks like, from Schilling, and again Thomas with a hard line drive. Ball staying up and out over the plate, and the top spin line drive by Frank Thomas. Thomas picks up his 79th RBI, and Schilling not very pleased with the way things have gone this inning.
You mentioned the aggressive Oakland A's. 8 of 13 have swung at the first pitch.
Yeah, this is you know, for a team that's usually very patient. They know Schilling is going to throw strikes. They know he's going to be around the plate, and they've been hacking early.
First and second with one down for Eric Chavez. He popped out to second base his first time up. Sink for ball two, 2-0. Schilling allowing a home run to Bobby Kelty in the second inning. A home run to Mark Ellis to begin things here in the third. Followed by 3 more hits, and all of a sudden it's 3-1 Oakland. There's a strike to Chavez, 2-1. On deck, Jay Payton. On the ground right side to first baseman Pena to second for one. Back to first. The throw not going to be in time. Schilling reaching around as he came off the bag trying to apply the tag. Doesn't work as Chavez will reach. And Kotsay ends up at third base. They do erase Frank Thomas at second for the second out of the inning.
On the way to first base, Schilling couldn't make contact with the bag. It's going to be 3-6, and then the throw to Schilling. He can't find that first base bag to complete the double play. Actually runs by it, and the throw's behind him.
So first and third now, 2 down. With Kotsay at third base, Chavez at first. And here's Jay Payton, who was robbed of a hit last night by Coco Chris, but has Chris bailing today with a strained shoulder. Making that great catch last night and robbing Jay Payton of extra bases and an RBI. So Jay did come away with a couple of hits last night. For 7 in the series is Jay Payton. Takes ball 2, 2-0. Schilling's been behind the last 2 batters.
And shaking his head at Eddings. He almost looked like he asked Jim Joyce at second base. Was that pitch away?
3-0.
2 pitches ago with Schilling thought maybe he had a strike. Not called by Eddings, and that's when he turned around to Jim Joyce, the second base umpire, looked at him and said, "Is that ball away?" And he got the nod of the head yes from Joyce.
There's ball 4. I can't imagine that goes over too big with the home plate umpire when you're asking the umpire at second base his thoughts.
That happens. It happens.
So first walk of the day given up by Curt Schilling as Payton's down to first base. So load the bases. Bases loaded opportunity here for the A's with 2 down in the inning. A chance for them to open things up here a little bit. Already on top 3-1. Bobby Kelty with a home run his last time up. Pops it up foul, backing out of play.
That home run by Kelty last time up is first hitting from the left side of the plate. At 6 hitting right-handed, added the first today, hitting left-handed. And again, another ace hit a swing at that first pitch.
The cut was Kelty, 93 from Schilling, and it's 0-2.
And one of the better fastballs today from Schilling. He's basically 90-91 so far. That time up to 93 with the fastball.
Kotsay at third, Chavez at second, Payton at first with 2 down. Outside 1-2. '50th pitch of the day for Curt Schilling. And it misses for ball 2, 2-2. Well, 95 that time, according to the gun. So Schilling here is starting to elevate that velocity a little bit.
Generally does when there are men in scoring position.
He slaps it foul, stays alive. With the inning for Curt Schilling, this pitch will be the 25th of the inning for Curt. He's now up over 50 through 2 2/3 innings. Ball 3, full count. No place to put him. Bases filled with A's. 2 down in the 3rd. Kelty pops it up foul, back and out of play. So far, a 6-hit attack for Oakland, on top 3-1. Bases loaded, 2 outs, and a full count to Bobby Kelty. Struck him out, elevated to do so at 94 miles per hour. On a big strikeout for Schilling, the A's get 2 and lead it 3-1.
Curt Schilling with a big strikeout to get out of a bases loaded jam in the 3rd inning. And of course, the way the Red Sox have had trouble scoring runs, a huge out for Schilling. The high fastball by Bobby Kelty.
54 pitches through the first 3 for Schilling, and the Red Sox now trailing by 2 as Mike Lowell leads it off here in the top half of the 4th inning. Oh, the single his first time up came around to score the Red Sox lone run. Red Sox with 3 hits today off Barry Zito. Down an order in the 1st and again in the 3rd. On the ground this time, hugging the line was Chavez, and he throws out Lowell.
Take a look at the last at bat for Mark Loretta. 2 pitches, 1 called a ball, 1 called a strike. Here's the first pitch to Loretta that was called a ball. And you can see that had the outside corner. Now they'll move it in just a little bit on the next pitch, and this one is called a strike. So all you hope for is some consistency from the umpire, both from a pitching and hitting point of view. And I think Loretta that time not exactly knowing what was going to be a strike. One's a ball the first time, almost the exact same pitch. Next time just call a strike.
Doug Eddings has the plate today for the umpires. As Gabe Kapler pops it up. Mark Ellis battling the sun. It's the catch, 2 down. After throwing a lot of pitches early, Zito now has started to get himself into a bit of a groove here. He's retired 7 Red Sox in a row.
Now both these pitches today too, Zito and Schilling have a nice pace going to this ball game, getting the ball and throwing it.
Two down for Doug Marabelli, who struck out looking his first time up. 5 strikeouts today for Barry Zito.
I mentioned his strikeout high was 11 on the season, and I think I said it was against the Angels. That may have been the Dodgers that it was against in interleague play. It has LA on there, and of course when they have the Angels they have LAA.
Billy lifts one to left field. Kelty get kind of a bad break, but it stays up a long time, and he makes the catch. 1, 2, 3 go the Red Sox in the 4th. It's 3-1 Oakland. Scudero leading it off here for the A's in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Oakland on top 3-1. Scudero fly to left his first time up. The pitching line is brought to you by Nissan. Scudero grounds it foul. Check out the Nissan pitching line. 57 pitches so far for Schilling. Gave up a home run to Bobby Kelty in the second. Home run to Mark Ellis in the third. RBI single for Frank Thomas, but got out of a pretty major jam without any further damage in the third inning as Oakland leaving them loaded as Kelty struck out. The A's have left 4 men on base through the first 3. So Kelty with a home run and a strikeout with the bases loaded. Scudero filling in admirably at shortstop in the absence of Bobby Crosby. He's been the utility infielder the last couple of years here in Oakland. Originally coming up through the Cleveland Indians organization. Popped up foul, long run for Pena over by the seats, and Pena can't get there.
Well, second time in this series he's had to go toward those seats. The first time he ended up going over the wall and into the seats, not able to make the catch. Not quite as far this time, but still not able to catch up to it.
So count of 2-2 to Scudero. Lines it into left center field for a base hit. It was Euclid to play, but Scudero on a lengthy at bats got himself a leadoff single. Let's check in with Tina Cervasio.
Don, according to Red Sox medical specialist Dr. Thomas Gill, David Ortiz is in the process of undergoing further testing and evaluation to determine the cause of his symptoms. This testing and evaluation will continue this afternoon and into this evening. And part of this process, Ortiz is consulting with a number of specialists. Now, Ortiz will remain at Mass General Hospital and stay overnight tonight, Wednesday, until tomorrow morning. But the good news is Ortiz is resting comfortably and he is in good spirits, and we will have more information on some of these test results by tomorrow. Don?
All right, Tina, thanks very much. So far, nothing but good news so far, and certainly everybody waiting for the results on David Ortiz, especially David himself. There's the pitch in there for a strike, and again, all our thoughts with Big Papi back in Boston.
And do you think there may be a few patients and nurses and doctors in that hospital may want to stop by and say hello to Big Papi?
I'm guessing there's a couple. So the check swing, fouling it off to the right. It's down 0-2. He's now banging out 7 hits so far today.
Hopefully on the return home tomorrow night you'll have better news on everybody. Ortiz and Manny Ramirez and Pena and the whole gang that flew back home yesterday.
Well, tomorrow night's scheduled starter for the Red Sox is David Wells against Roy Halladay. But judging from the papers today, the rumor mills are flying all over the place about David Wells, and will he be in a Red Sox uniform? There's the pitch outside, and the count to 2-2 for those who have not seen the rumor mills and what's being printed in different places. Apparently a great deal of interest, as you might imagine, in David Wells, who's healthy again, and some clubs that are currently contending may be looking for the services of one David Wells.
In particular, the Dodgers and San Diego.
Grounded foul outside of third. Of course, he would have to be on their roster by midnight of the 31st, which is tomorrow, in order to be eligible for the postseason roster. So it's something that would happen very quickly if it's going to happen. And of course, he is not with the club at the moment, flying back to Boston as part of the injured contingent to get ready for a start tomorrow night against Roy Halladay. Full count now to Mark Ellis.
Yeah, we were talking last night on the way home, Don, when we stuck on the Bay Bridge about how guys like Scudero and Ellis grind out at bats and play some pretty tough defense for these guys, and not a lot of superstars obviously in this club, but a lot of good players.
There it goes, and it's fouled off to the right, back and out of play.
They're doing construction on that Bay Bridge as you head back towards San Francisco from Oakland, and it's I don't like being on that bridge, especially in traffic. As long as you keep moving, it's all right.
Well, we lucked out. I guess the construction starts at 10, and we just gotten there. As this one's to left, Youkilis headed back. He leaps and makes the catch in front of the wall. Back to the bag at first goes Scudero. Just grabbing left as jumping to make the catch out there on the track was Kevin Youkilis for out number 1.
All in all, Youkilis has put a pretty decent job out there in left field. He had a tough time Sunday in Seattle in the sunshine. Makes a nice catch here going back to the wall. So from third base to first base to left field to clean up to lead off to just about everything for Youkilis.
Yeah, last night getting his first outfield assist on the throw out at the plate. This is only his 7th career game in left field.
Well, Kendall will come into the plate. Let's see if there's a hit and run in the plans here for Ken Maka. Certainly Kendall, a guy that can handle a bat. Does not strike out very much. 2 for 2 already in this game today.
A double and a single so far for Kendall. He's 2 for 2 as they check on Scudero at first base. There goes Scudero. He bluffed, doesn't go, and now fly ball to right as Hinske drifts back to make the catch. Scudero took a couple steps, then stopped as Kendall flies out to right, 2 down. Let's check out the Aflac trivia question. Aflac! And our question today: who's the only player to be the 3,000th strikeout for 2 pitchers? We'll have the answer for you a little bit later. It was this guy, Nick Swisher, who was strikeout number 3,000 for Curt Schilling back in the first inning. Swisher has struck out and popped out to third base, 0 for 2. Fly ball hit out to right field. Back goes Hinske at the wall. He leaps and can't make the catch. High off the wall. Scudero trying to score all the way from first base. He will easily. Into second, and an RBI double goes Nick Swisher to put the A's on top 4-1. And that nearly got out of here.
Yeah, right at the top of the wall. That's at 362 in the power alley. Very small power alleys here at the Coliseum. And Swisher just misses his 29th home run right off the top of the wall. As Hinske jumps, he can't make the play. It caroms to Kapler, and another run for the Athletics.
So 78 RBIs now for Swisher. Pitch number 75 for Schilling, and it's carved foul by Kotze.
Oh, and again, another first pitch swinger in Kotze. They have been just doing this all afternoon to Curt Schilling.
Well, Perry, the hitting coach here with the A's in his first year in that capacity. Did he go? No. We'll check with Paul Schreiber, the third base umpire. On the ground softly to Pedroia. Throws out Kotsay, but the damage done. The A's pick up another run, take a 4-1 lead after 4. Top half of the 5th inning, and the Red Sox trailing by 3 runs as Eric Hinske leads it off against Barry Zito. He's been posted to a 3-run advantage here into the 5th. Hinske with a base hit and an RBI in the 2nd inning, as he knocked in Mike Lowell with the Red Sox first run of the day, which at the time put Boston on top 1-0. Zito up over 60 pitches now at 61. Mentioned last time out for Barry Zito, a win at Texas. He picked up his 100th career victory as Hinske down on strikes. Check out the answer to our Aflac trivia question today. Aflac! Which 2 players have hit? Who was the only player to be the 3,000 strikeout for 2 pitchers? And the answer is Cesar Geronimo. Must have caught the last out of the 1975 World Series. Yaz popping out to him. It'll do. So 1 down here in the 5th. Into left field, down towards the corner, and over to plate is Bobby Kelty. Thinking 2 is Pedroia. He's got himself a 1-out double.
Changeup that stays down, and you can see Pedroia way out on his front foot there, but the hands stay back, and he's able to drive it down to left field for that base hit. His first double at the major league level.
So 1 down, Pedroia at second base. And here's Carlos Pena. Ball to right field. Jay Payton moving over towards the line. Gets there to make the catch. Pedroia bluffed. It doesn't go anywhere. Remains at second, but now 2 down.
Please join the American Red Cross, the Red Sox, and Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center for the 4th annual Day of Remembrance Blood Drive on Monday, September 11th. Donate blood at Fenway Park between noon and 7 p.m. in memory of those lost so that others may survive. For more information or to schedule an appointment, call 1-800-GIVE-LIFE or visit bloodpartners.org/Red Sox.
2 down for Kevin Youkilis with Pedroia at second base, 2 away here in the 5th. Just to finish up on Cesar Geronimo, is twice a 3,000 strikeout victim. 1 on the list to Nolan Ryan, his 3,000. Cesar Geronimo, that was July 4th of 1980. And number 13 on the all-time list, Bob Gibson. Geronimo on July 17th, 1974 for his 3,000th strikeout. And today it is this gentleman, Nick Swisher, strikes out for Curt Schilling's 3,000th. Kurt's thinking about other things right now as the A's have a 4-1 advantage here in the top of the 5th.
He'd probably trade in that strikeout right now to have a 1-0 lead in this game.
Two down, Pedroia at second. And Youkilis taking ball 4, a 4-pitch walk. And just the first base on ball surrendered today by Barry Zito.
Number 13, Alex
bring up Alex Cora. Alex struck out swinging in the first, fly to center field in the third. Just 5 for his last 36 over the last 11 games. And for strike 1 from Barry Zito. Well, the 100 career victories for Zito joins Catfish Hunter. Got 131, Vita Blue with 124, and Dave Stewart with 119. He's 4th in Oakland A's history to win 100 games in an A's uniform. Strike has him ahead of Cora, 0-2. Catfish Hunter's number immortalized here, 27. With 131 victories in his Oakland A's career. Inside 1-2 to Cora. Vita Blue had 124 wins in an A's uniform, and Dave Stewart 119. Two and two, just missing off the outside edge. The 75th pitch of the day for Barry Zito, with 2 outs in the 5th inning. Cora grounds it towards Scudero at short. He'll flip the second, close play, but in time. With Youkilis arriving at the bag. Red Sox can't score. They trail 4-1. Last half of the 5th inning, Frank Thomas leading it off for the A's. Thomas, Chavez, and Payton featured here for Oakland in the bottom of the 5th. They enjoy a 4-1 lead. Thomas 1 for 2 with an RBI so far as he singled to knock in a run his last time up. Line to left, and Thomas has his second hit of the day. 2 for 3 off Curt Schilling.
A good series for Frank Thomas against the Red Sox. Of course, he's always done very well against Red Sox clubs throughout the past.
Third baseman, number 3, Eric.
Right at very deep and far away from the plate is Thomas. That ball right over the middle of the plate and hooks it into left field for the base hit.
He's been 5 for 8 in the series with a home run and 3 runs batted in. On to begin things in the inning as Eric Chavez takes a strike. Chavez has popped out to second base, grounded into a fielder's choice. 0 for 2 so far in the afternoon. Swing and a miss, and it's 1-2. The offensive struggles continue for Chavez. Over the last 12 games, hitting at .225. And in 54 games since June the 18th, hitting at .207. Line foul just outside of first. Today's Chevy triple play contestant is Michael Ferretra of Franklin, Massachusetts. If Boston turns a triple play in today's game, Bill will win a Chevy Silverado. Your chance to win a Chevy car truck. Enter the Chevy triple play contest at NESN.com this month.
I wonder if Michael knows Jerry Trupiano, a good friend who lives in Franklin, Massachusetts also.
Popped up back at third. Lowell making the catch in foul ground on the backhand. Nicely done for out number 1.
A tough play because of the sun for Lowell, and of course the ball not hit that high.
Right fielder, 16, Jay.
Had to quickly get over to make the backhanded play. Troopy's big in Franklin, you know.
I know.
Could
Troopy's
probably
big
run for
everywhere.
selectman.
Doesn't matter where Troopy is, he's big. Jay Payton stands in with 1 out, 1 on. Grounded to short and walked. He's now 9 hits today off Curt Schilling. Curt has not enjoyed a 1-2-3 inning yet today. Not home. Frank Thomas on at first base as Pena plays in behind him. Not likely that Thomas is going anywhere.
That would be a story, that's for sure, the way he's been running.
There's a pop-up. Pena ducking back. This will take him into foul ground, and he makes the catch, 2 down. So 2 foul outs after a leadoff single by Frank Thomas. Bobby Kelty coming up. Kelty with his 7th home run of the year back in the 2nd inning, a solo shot to get the A's on the board at the time, and then struck out with the bases loaded in the 3rd. In the 2nd, able to get his 7th home run. And at the time, tied the game 1-1. Just kept carrying the ball, but at first didn't look like it had enough. It does clear the wall in center field and up over the 400 marker in dead center. Off to the left, 1-2 to Bobby Kelty.
Red Sox with only 2 road trips remaining after this final game here, and that would be to Baltimore and New York, and of course the final trip up to Toronto. So all remaining trips on the East Coast for the Red Sox.
Yeah, really easy trips as far as travel goes after a couple of tough West Coast swings for the Red Sox here in the 2nd half. A lot of home games remaining. This is game number 133 of the season. Ball 3, and it's a full count. Sox, of course, finishing off the last homestand on a very tough note, dropping 5 in a row to the New York Yankees. Swing and a miss. Kelty striking out for the 2nd time today. We've played 5. It's 4-1 Oakland. Top half of the 6th inning. Mark Loretta leading it off against Barry Zito, 4-1. The Oakland A's on top in this one, out hitting the Red Sox 9-4. Loretta's popped out to first base and struck out looking. 77 pitches now for Barry Zito. Works here in the 6th inning with a 3-run lead. This time facing the Red Sox, going just 5 innings and already better numbers here today. Just the 1 run over the first 5. On July 14th, a 15-3 win for him in 5 innings, giving him 6 hits and 2 runs. 106 pitches that day against the Red Sox. Zito coming into today's action, ranking 5th in the American League in innings pitched, 183. Tied for 6th in wins with 14 and 8th in earned run average at 3.64. A total of 107 consecutive starts without a complete game, which is an ongoing Athletics record. To right field and in for a hit. Mark Loretta taking it the opposite way as a leadoff single here to begin things in the 6th inning.
Well, want a great new job? You'll find thousands of jobs in the Big Help coming September 10th in the Boston Globe and all week on bostonworks.com. Visit bostonworks.com to learn more.
Leadoff single for Loretta. Is that the Schilling family?
I believe it is.
Fly ball to right field. Jay Payton back a few steps. There to make the catch for out number 1. Mike Lowell retired. Loretta back to the bag at first. So 1 out, 1 on for Gabe Kapler. And a double in the 2nd inning. Popped out to second base in the 4th inning. Six strikeouts so far for Barry Zito. He has walked 1 batter. And about to throw his 85th pitch of the day. And there for a strike. 1-1 now to Kapler, who has a look back at Doug Eddings.
We ran into Scott Boras this morning coming into the ballpark. Of course, Boras now represents Barry Zito, who will be a free agent at the end of the season. Boras spends most of his time down in Southern California. He's always at the Angel games. Traveling north today to watch his new client.
You'll see him often back behind home plate there at the Angels games. Swing at a foul tip held onto by Jason Kendall. It's the 7th strikeout of the day for Barry Zito. 2 down.
Kind of got a kick out of it when you asked him to represent you. Said he's got a full calendar right now. Once again, the good curveball from Barry Zito. Foul tipped into the glove of Kendall.
Well, one tough inning for him. The 2nd inning. That's the inning in which the Red Sox scored and ended up leaving. Runners at 2nd and 30 through 25 pitches. There's 2 outs here in the 6th inning. Loretta still at first as Doug Marabelli takes a swing and a miss at the first pitch. And some wonder if Barry Zito will be back here with the Oakland A's. Of course, his agent now, and certainly has had a reputation of certainly getting the top dollar, the best value for his clients, and that may mean somewhere other than Oakland. His payroll has, of course, stayed close to the same over the last few years, and not likely to spend a great deal of money. Already seen the likes of Hudson and Mulder depart Oakland. And trades and efforts to bring back some prospects and some pitchers and position players that can help, and they've been able to do that. Some of the guys here on this Oakland team, we saw Kiko Calero last night, part of the Mulder deal. With Dan Herron in their starting rotation. Coming over from the Cardinals. Lined into left field, a base hit. Right up to second base on the single for Doug Marabelli.
Number 12, Eric.
So 1st and 2nd, 2 down, and it brings up Eric Hinske. Infield hit in the 2nd inning. He's struck out in the 5th. Red Sox with 6 hits on the afternoon. Outside, it's 2-0 now to Eric Hinske. Loretta at second base, led off with a single to right. Belly at first base. He singled to left. This ball 3, and it's 3-0 now to Hinske, who's going to bring out Jason Kendall to talk to Zito.
Well, tonight at 10, tune in NESN for Sports Desk with Hazel May, presented by FW Webb, home of Frank Webb's Bath Centers. The topics tonight, the latest update on David Ortiz, complete coverage of today's series finale in Oakland, and a check-in with new Bruins defenseman Zdeno Chara, who will be leading the Bruins through off-season workouts. That's Sports Desk tonight at 10 here on NESN.
Ball 4, and down to first base goes Hinske. The second walk given up by Barry Zito, and Ken Maka's on the phone, as all of a sudden the Red Sox have him loaded.
Kiko Calero, who worked in the ball game last night, first up loosening up.
Young, the pitching coach, headed to the mound. Well, after the leadoff single by Loretta, 2 quick outs for Zito as he got Lowell and Kapler, but a single by Mirabelli, the 4-pitch walk to Hinske, and all of a sudden now the base is loaded with 2 down. He's got to deal with Dustin Pedroia, with a double off him last time up.
That double for Pedroia was on a changeup from Barry Zito.
Pitch count rising, 95 right now for Zito. Trying to get out of a jam here in the 6th inning. And strike 1 to Pedroia over the outside corner. Up to second, the double. Last time up for Pedroia as he bats with Loretta at third. Mirabelli at second and Hinske at first. Breaking ball, strike 2, and it's 0-2. In the dirt, Pedroia doesn't chase, and it's 1-2.
Ella Pedroia watched a lot of games here at the Coliseum growing up. I'm sure he watched plenty of Barry Zito. Today gets the chance to hit against him.
One and 2 the count to Dustin Pedroia. Bases loaded, 2 down. Away that time, and it evens up at 2-2. This will be the 100th pitch of the day for Barry Zito. Kiko Calero warming in the pen behind him. Pedroia pops it up into shallow left, falling fast. Kelty coming on to make the running catch and ends the inning. And the Red Sox leave him loaded. We played 5.5. It's 4-1. Oakland on top. Marco Scutaro leads it off. You're in the bottom of the 6th inning with Oakland on top, 4-1. Scutaro fly to left in the 2nd, then led off in the 4th inning with a single to left field. Chilling at 96 pitches. As he works here in the 6th inning, we've seen no action in the Red Sox pen at any point today. And there's none right now. Schilling works here in the 6th. 1-2 to Marco Scutaro, to be followed by Mark Ellis and Jason Kendall here in the 6th inning for the A's. Popped up, foul ground as Mirabelli comes back. That'll get back into the seats. catching the day game after the night game.
I think the Schilling prefers to pitch to Doug Mirabelli. He has caught Schilling's starts since, for the most part, since Veritek's been on the DL.
Strike 3 call, 4th strikeout of the day for Curt Schilling. He gets Marco Scutaro for the first out of the 6th.
2 strikeouts on fastballs, 2 on splitters. This the fastball down and away from Scutaro for the strikeout.
So 1 down, 4 in a row retired by Schilling. And here's Mark Ellis. Ellis hitting a solo home run back in the 3rd inning, his 10th home run of the year, and his 2nd against the Red Sox this season. And fly to the warning track and left in the 4th inning. He's today with 2 home runs. Bobby Kelty at his 7th home run of the year in the 2nd inning, and then Ellis hitting his 10th in the 3rd. Ball struck well to left. Youkilis headed back at the wall. He leaps, and Youkilis can't make the catch. It's off the wall. Heading for 3rd base is Mark Ellis. The throw to 3rd is cut off. Ellis got himself a triple with 1 down.
Well, quite a day for Ellis out of that 9 spot. He took a Schilling curveball back in the 2nd inning for a home run in that direction. This time off the scoreboard on the fastball. Youkilis going back to the wall, can't make the play, and then it bounces way back in toward the infield. And Ellis continues to run and ends up on 3rd base. So now the infield pulled in for the Red Sox.
Well, a good contact guy in Jason Kendall standing in on the right side for the A's. There's 2 hits today, a double and a single. He's also fly to right. The league leaders are brought to you by Olympia Sports. Starts by catchers since 2000. Kendall at the top, 962. And Posada and Osmus. On a strike now to Kendall. Timlin up in the Red Sox pen. The first action we've seen out in the Boston pen today. Strike 2, and it's 1-2. 94 poured in there by Curt Schilling.
Tough guys to battle with a man at 3rd base, a guy that doesn't strike out very much in Kendall. They play contact on a ground ball to the infield with Ellis at 3rd base.
It's a foul off to the right, hangs at 1-2. With 40 strikeouts and 437 at bats. Lines the 1-2 into right center. From 3rd comes Mark Ellis, and this puts the A's on top 5-1. 3rd hit of the day for Jason Kendall and a 4-run Oakland lead against Curt Schilling.
I think a lot of times pitchers would prefer to see those free swingers, guys that strike out a lot with a man at 3rd base. You get a contact guy like Kendall, awfully tough. Takes the fastball up and away and shoots it the opposite way for the base hit. So a big 3 for 4 afternoon for Kendall.
108 pitches today, Schilling up over his average, and here comes Terry Francona. And Nick Swisher about to bat. Francona making his way out. Timlin's been warming in the pen. So Mike Timlin making his way in from the Red Sox pen. The pitching change from Oakland, with the Red Sox now trailing 5-1. The Oakland A's on top of the Red Sox with one out here in the bottom of the 6th inning, and Kurt Schilling throwing 108 pitches as he ends up going 5 1/3, still responsible for Kendall at first base. This call to the bullpen is brought to you by your local Ford store. Every journey begins with a bold move. Start your journey today by visiting your local Ford store. The pitcher is Mike Timlin.
54th appearance for Timlin. 5-4 record working out of the bullpen. 23 strikeouts and 14 walks in 50 1/3 innings. 283 batting average against. Last time Timlin worked, it was a blown save up in Seattle. That was on the 26th. An inning in that game, gave up a couple of earned runs.
He comes into a situation where Jason Kendall is at first base with one out. Here's Nick Swisher. Swisher, a strikeout victim in the first, the 3,000th for Kurt Schilling. He popped out to third base in the 3rd and then doubled in the 4th inning. Knocked in a run, now 78 RBIs on the season for Swisher. Play profile brought to you by Sovereign Bank, the official bank of the Red Sox cable network. Base 107 of 130 games, 9-10 in the season series for him against the Red Sox. There's a strike, 2-1 now to Swisher. Swisher playing the outfield primarily last year. He's now started 40 of the last 44 games since the All-Star break at first base for the A's. Started 88 games before the break in left field. So we'll see all of his time now at first base for Oakland, and he's working very hard to become a good defensive first baseman. A lot of time before games. Goes the runner at first as Swisher swings and misses and strikes out. Up to second base goes Kendall on the theft, and there's 2 down. Second time today Swisher has struck out.
Looks like the slider that's down and in the dirt, and Swisher chasing a very bad pitch there, drops the bat as the ball gets by Mirabelli, and of course Kendall into second base. Couple of strange swings in that at bat for Swisher against Timlin.
So 2 down. Here's Mark Kotsay, who's 1 for 3. Jason Kendall getting credit for the stolen base. He was off with the pitch. Swisher struck out. And in scoring position now with 2 down in the inning. Left field line on the run is Youkilis. It'll land foul. Out of the reach of Kevin Youkilis, who runs down into that corner. Lots of action in left field today for Youkilis. Strike two, and it's 1-2 now to Katse. The run scored in the inning charged to Schilling, who's given up 5 so far, still responsible for Jason Kendall, who's at second base for Oakland here in the 6th inning. Evens up now at 2-2 to Katse. Thomas, who has a couple of hits on the afternoon, waits on deck. Line into right field, a base hit. Kendall being waved around. The throw from Hinsky in right field is cut off. The run scores, and now they've got Katse hung up. They'll apply the tag. Another run in, though, for the Oakland A's, who now lead it 6-1 at the end of 6. Top half of the 7th inning. The A's get 2 in the bottom of the 6th and now lead it 6-1. Carlos Pena leading it off and grounding one right side, and by the dive, Mark Ellis into right field. And a base hit for it. Carlos Pena.
Pena's had pretty good success in his career against Zito. We mentioned the numbers coming in at .313 with a couple of home runs, and after going 0 for 2 in his first 2 at-bats, picks up the base hit by the dive of Mark Ellis.
101 pitches now for Barry Zito. There's action up in behind him. Kiko Calero, who was up last inning, starts this inning by warming. As Kevin Youkilis takes the first pitch strike. Mike Burns up in the Red Sox pen. We have not yet seen him into a game. He's being acquired by the Red Sox from the Cincinnati Reds. Sox optioning Kaysen Gabbard to make room for Burns. Two and one now to Youkilis. Evans struck out in the first, fouled out to the first baseman in the third, then walked in the 5th. There's a strike, and it evens up at 2-2. Youkilis didn't like the call. Sox with 7 hits off Barry Zito, but just the 1 run to show for it. Youkilis lining it to left. Kilty was deep, comes on, and it one hops him, jumps up, and he knocks it down. As he was set up deep, and that one falls in for a hit, and it's back-to-back base hits for the Red Sox here in the 7th.
Yeah, Youkilis gets on a high curveball that time. One of the few that Barry Zito has left up in the zone this afternoon. One of the best curveballs he's had against the Red Sox. That one stayed up about letter high, and the top spin line drive drops in front of Kelty out there in left field. So this could be the last batter for Barry Zito, the left-handed Cora.
Alex today is struck out swinging, fly to center, and grounded into a fielder's choice. He's 0 for 3 as he takes strike 1 from Zito. Curt Schilling today allowing 6 runs in his 5 1/3 innings of work, giving up 11 hits, walked 1 and struck out 4. Schilling throwing 108 pitches today, and of course the strikeout of Nick Swisher in the first is 3,000 career strikeout. First and second, nobody out here in the top half of the 7th. The 0-2 pitch to Cora. Mark Loretta DHing, and Alex Gonzalez on the DL. Cora's got a lot of playing time lately. Two and two.
Again, some of that shotness out of the curveball right now for Zito. maybe fatigued as he reaches a total of 110 pitches.
Calero ready should they choose to go to him here as Euclid and Pena board on singles. Calero with a swing and a foul tip to stay alive. Strike three call. Cora strikes out. That's 8 Ks for Barry Zito. That'll bring Ken Maka out. He'll make the move for Kiko Calero as Barry Zito ends the day on a high note, striking out Cora. And gives him 6 1/3 today, but up over 100 pitches at 112. We'll get a nice hand from the Oakland faithful here as he departs with a 6-1 lead. Barry Zito departs, still responsible for runners at first and second. It's a 6-1 lead for the A's. He goes 6 1/3, throws 112 pitches, and so far just the 1 run. As the new pitcher is Kiko Calero.
Calero worked in the ballgame last night, a third of an inning against the Red Sox. Overall, making his 5th appearance of the season against Boston. You see the numbers at home this year, only a 195 batting average against him here at the McAfee Coliseum.
Runners at first and second. Pena's at second. Euclid at first with 1 away. And Loretta fouls off the 0-1 pitch. It's 0-2. So the Red Sox with 8 hits. Only Alex Cora does not have a hit today. Otherwise, everybody in the starting 9 has 1.
Scattered around with the exception of the second inning where they had 3 hits in the second inning. That's when they scored the 1 run.
Boston has left 7 men on base through the first 6, included leaving them loaded in the 6th inning. 8 strikeouts over 6 1/3 innings today for Barry Zito. Walked 2.
How many pitches he end up with?
112. An offer, says first base umpire Dana DeMuth. Been 0-2. It's a full count now to Mark Loretta. Mike Roll waits on deck with 1 away here in the 7th. The shortstop, the backhand for Scudero to second for 1. High throw to first pulls Swisher off the bag. They do get Euclid at second base. We're out number 2, but it's now first and third for Boston.
Yeah, because Scudero had to go to his right, that makes the second baseman Ellis very vulnerable, and Euclid, to his credit, right on top of him. He's going to make contact with the second baseman. That's going to make that throw at first base a little bit high and pull Swisher off the bag.
So 2 down, first and third base for Mike Lowell. With a single back in the second inning. And then he's grounded out to third and fly to right. Swing and a miss has him down 0-2. You're just joining us today. Coco Crisp out of the Red Sox order. More injury problems for the Red Sox. Hurt last night on the diving catch of the Jay Payton fly ball. And a strained shoulder kept him out of the order today. He was in the original starting lineup. Listed as day-to-day. High and away, and it's 1-2 now to Mike Lowell. Popped up. Swisher on the run. So is Ellison to foul ground. And Swisher with his back to the plate makes the basket catch. Nice play by Nick Swisher. Red Sox strand a pair. 7th inning stretch. 6-1 Oakland. The 7th inning is 6-1. The A's on top as the new Red Sox pitcher is Mike Burns.
Mike Burns coming over from Cincinnati for Tim Bowser. Of course, 11 appearances in 3 different stints with the Reds this season. Had an 8.78 ERA. See the numbers for him down at Louisville. Last year made his major league debut with the Houston Astros in 27 relief appearances.
Frank Thomas rips one foul down towards the A's pen. Got a couple of hits today, both hits off Kurt Schilling. Both singles to left. He also has an RBI. 79 RBIs on the season. Breaking ball in there for a strike. 0-2. Red Sox today 5 1/3 from Kurt Schilling, who gives up the 6 runs. Mike Timlin 2/3 of an inning, getting the last 2 outs of the 6th inning. And now Mike Burns in his Red Sox debut here in the 7th. Swing and a miss, ends up striking out Frank Thomas for the first out here of the 7th inning.
Keeping the fastball away from Frank Thomas, outside part of the plate. Thomas with a 2 for 4 afternoon.
So 1 down for Eric Chavez. 0 for 3 today. He's popped out, grounded out, and fouled out. Facing 28-year-old Mike Burns in his major league debut. National League champion Houston Astros last year. 27 relief appearances. Diving is Pena. Can't come up with it. It's down the right field line as Chavez heads into second base with a 1-out double.
Looks like Chavez gets a changeup from Burns. The ball away and hooked with some topspin down that first base line. Pena goes into the dive. He can't knock it down, and the 2-base hit for Chavez.
Here's Jay Payton, who was grounded out, walked, and fouled out. 0 for 2 today. The middle into center field, a base hit. Chavez being waved around as Kepler's up and throwing. The throw to the plate off the mark, and it's a 7-1 Oakland A's lead.
Well, the beat goes on for the Oakland Athletics in this series. Back-to-back base hits very quickly. The double by Chavez and the base hit by Payton up the middle. Payton picks up his 52nd RBI of the season. That's the slider that time. And Payton with the shot right back through the middle for the RBI single.
A team that does not blow you away offensively by any means. Near the bottom in a lot of offensive categories, outscoring the Red Sox 18-2 in the series. Fly ball to left deep was Euclid, now coming on hard. He'll make the running catch. As Kelty retired Peyton back to the bag at first with now 2 down.
Well, the Angels up in Seattle for that series, and Oakland able to pick up some ground. They play tonight, the Angels against the Mariners, in what I believe the 3rd game of that series, right?
Yes. It's already a 7.5 game lead for the A's over the Angels. Win today by Oakland would mean it would be 8 before that game started tonight. Marco Scutaro, the batter, off the end of the bat, grounds it softly at Pedroia. Throws him out at first base to conclude the 7th inning. A run for the A's. Now lead at 7-1. Brad Halsey into the game as Kapler tries to bunt his way on. Halsey off the mound, and Kapler dives into first base with a head-first slide.
Well, Kapler catching Chavez a little bit deep at third base with the 7-1 lead. Halsey tries to make the play, gave Chavez no chance to make it, and the base hit by Gabe Kapler. Trying to get base runners here any way they can here in the 8th inning. I don't think even if Chavez feels that barehanded, he's going to have Kapler at first base.
Well, the bunt single for Kapler to get us started here in the 8th as Doug Mirabelli stands in.
Halsey actually made a start last time out against Toronto, going 6 innings in that game, 4 earned runs. He has worked 5 times. Actually, this is his 6th outing against the Red Sox this year, and 7 in his career.
Mirabelli skies one to shallow center. Katse coming on for the first out of the inning. Well, happy birthday, number 9. Well, beautiful day here today in Oakland. Not so great if you're a Red Sox fan. The Red Sox trailing 7-1 here in the 8th.
This has not been a great road trip for the Red Sox fans who have made the swing through Anaheim, Seattle, and Oakland. Many fans we've seen over and over again on this trip.
Down Eric Hinske batting. He has singled to right to drive in a run, struck out and walked. And the count 2-0. There's Zito, 6 1/3 innings today, giving up 8 hits, 1 run. He walked 2 and struck out 8, in line for his 15th win of the year, coming in at 14-8. Taking the strike, 2-1. Five and a third today from Schilling. Mike Timlin went 2/3. Mike Burns, his Red Sox debut, giving up a run in an inning in the 7th. And the strike, and it's 2-2 now to Hinske. He hits one to center field and deep. Katse headed back at the wall. It is off the wall. Plays it quickly back in. A double off the wall for Eric Hinske that nearly got out of here as Gabe Kapler gets to third.
Hinske with a couple of hits off left-handers today. Had the base hit off Zito back in the 2nd inning. Now the double that just misses a home run to straightaway center field. Actually, Katse made a pretty nice barehanded play on this ball off the wall, and it saves a run. Runners have to stop at 2nd and 3rd as he quickly gets it back in.
8 hits in a Red Sox uniform for Hinske, 4 of them doubles. And overall in his combined effort with the Toronto Blue Jays, 13 doubles on the season. Here's Dustin Pedroia. That was one off the home plate umpire. Jonathan Papelbon up in the Red Sox pen. Not a lot to close out lately. Hasn't worked in a while.
No, not since the Angels series.
Thursday of last week, the last time we saw him. Pena on deck. Red Sox have runners at second and third with one down here in the 8th. Red Sox have left 9 men on through the first 7 innings, included leaving the bases loaded in the 6th inning. Foul to the backstop, 1-2. He's already winning today, the day portion. The day-night doubleheaders, they beat Detroit 2-0.
Now they got what, about another hour to sit around before the start of Game 2 at Yankee Stadium.
On the ground left side, rounding behind it is Scudero. His throw to first in time to get Pedroia, but in from third comes Kapler. For the second Red Sox run, and it's now 7-2 Oakland. RBI for Pedroia.
Now the bunt base hit by Kapler turns into a run as he eventually comes around on the ground ball out by Pedroia.
Picks up his first major league RBI. On the ground out, and the Red Sox have their second run of the day. There's Carlos Pena with Eric Hinske still at second base, and 2 down here in the top of the 8th. Pena struck out swinging in the 2nd. He flied to right in the 5th inning, and then singled his last time up in the 7th off Barry Zito. Sox will return home where the Toronto Blue Jays wait for them. A 4-game series between the Red Sox and the Jays. A tall task of facing Roy Halladay. 16 victories. Start the first game of the series for the Blue Jays. Red Sox face Ted Lilly in Game 2 of the series, a guy they've always had problems with, and former member of these Oakland A's. A.J. Burnett and Gustavo Chacin scheduled to go in the 4-game series for Toronto.
And Toronto playing their final game of the series in Cleveland tonight.
He's 3-0 in his last 4 starts in Fenway Park, as this one grounded down to first. Swisher's got it, and the Red Sox are gone in the inning. They do get a run. We head to the bottom of the 8th at 7-2 Oakland Athletics. McAfee Coliseum. This game summary brought to you by your local Lincoln Mercury dealers. Well, Kurt Schilling striking out Mick Swisher in the first inning for his 3,000th career strikeout. Home runs allowed by Schilling, though. Bobby Kelty in the 2nd inning, his 7th. And for Mark Ellis, his 10th home run of the year. 2 home runs off Schilling today. A 7-2 Oakland lead into the bottom of the 8th inning. And the Red Sox bring on their closer, Jonathan Papelbon.
As we mentioned, it's been a while back in that series against the Angels on the 24th. In that ball game, inning and a third to pick up save number 34. Had a couple of strikeouts. Was not needed or not used in the Seattle series. And you're right, Don. Just basically get him some work in this ball game.
Mark Ellis leading it off here for the A's in the bottom of the 8th. He's had a very good game, a home run and a triple. He scored 2 runs, knocked in a run. One of the warning track in left field in the 4th, and a nice catch by Youkilis. Papelbon takes over for Mike Burns, who pitched his 7th. He up 2 hits and a run in his Red Sox debut. Line drive, a fair ball down the right field line, headed to the corner. Linsky over to play it as Ellis heads to second base with a double. He's just a single shy of hitting for the cycle today.
Well, he's had a big day. A home run back in the 3rd inning, a triple, and now the double. Going the other way against Papelbon. 0-2 count, fastball away, shoots it the other way.
So a double for Ellis. Chad Godin up in the pen. Sox expecting Youkilis, Cora, and Loretta in the top of the 9th inning, at the very least dealing with a 5-run deficit. Jason Kendall with 3 hits today and an RBI. Schilling going 5 1/3. Mike Timlin 2/3. Mike Burns an inning. Now Papelbon for the 8th. Last time we saw Papelbon last Thursday, an inning and a 1/3 to earn his 34th save. Had to go an inning and a 1/3 the night before. Did his 33rd save. Red Sox taking 2 out of 3 from the Angels and starting the trip off fairly well. Things have gone south since. Swept by the Seattle Mariners. The A's taking the first 2 games of this series and on top 7-2 here in the 8th. Swing and a miss. That doesn't strike out often. Jason Kendall strikes out here for the first out of the inning.
96-mile-an-hour fastball from Papelbon by Jason Kendall for the strikeout. A little different look in the face of Papelbon in a game that's he's behind 7-2 instead of one of those save situations.
Papelbon converting his first 20 save tries in 2006 before his first blown save came on June 9th against Texas. In there for a strike to Nick Swisher as Brian Corey starts to warm up in the Red Sox pen.
Now, one thing they don't want to have happen if Papelbon was to get in a little trouble here, have him throw too many pitches in this inning and extend himself beyond what they would like to have him throw, just getting some work in. So the backup plan, have Corey loosen up.
Sends it foul off to the left, and it's 1-2. 31,073 on hand here today. Actually bigger today than last night.
Didn't look like it, does it?
No, it didn't at all. But now it's crowd of 31,073. Day baseball from Oakland. A lot of these midweek getaway days.
Yeah, they've been very kind throughout the years as far as getaway days when teams have to go back to the East Coast. Used to have 12 o'clock starts here, and then they've moved it back to 12:30. Certainly helps at the other end.
This one gets away from Mirabelli to the backstop, and to third goes Ellis. Wild pitch charge to Jonathan Papelbon. Red Sox baseball on NESN is brought to you by Olympia Sports, the official sporting goods retailer of the New England Sports Network, Citgo, and by Hyundai. Infield in all the way around as Swisher strikes out for out number 2. Back-to-back Ks for Papelbon.
That's 3 times today Swisher has struck out, that time on the split-fingered fastball. It's 125 total now on the season, but he did have a double back in the 4th inning to drive in a run.
Two down for Mark Kotsay. Red Sox infield moving back now with 2 down and the runner at 3rd. Kotsay with 2 singles today, 1 to center, 1 to right. And 2 groundouts. In the 9th, Red Sox will expect Youkilis, Cora, and Loretta. Nobody gets on, Lowell will have a chance. Red Sox dealing with a 5-run deficit at the moment. I'd say lifts it foul off to the left. Chop towards short as Cora charges. Yeah, throws him out to end the inning. Red Sox trail by 5 runs. It'll be Youkilis, Cora, and Loretta in the 9th. 7-2, Oakland on top. New third baseman for the A's, Antonio Perez, into the game. And the new pitcher is Chad Godin.
It's the 2nd time he's worked against the Red Sox in this series and the 6th time this season. He has not allowed a run to the Red Sox in the 5 outings so far. 4 2/3, 5 walks, and a couple of strikeouts. See the last 16 games.
And fouled off by Youkilis, and it's 0-2. Youkilis, Cora, and Loretta expected. Pitcher of record for the A's today, Barry Zito, 6 1/3, giving up just the 1 run. Chance to get his 15th win of the year. Fly ball to right field, sending Jay Payton back. Still going to the warning track. He makes the catch for out number 1.
Number 13.
So 1 down here in the 9th inning, and it'll bring up Alex Cora. Was 0 for 4. He has struck out twice. On the hands and popped up to shallow right center. Payton again handles out number 2. 2 down in the 9th.
Number 3.
Chad Godin on just 4 pitches has the first 2 outs. Here's Mark Loretta. 1 for 4 today. Loretta with a single in the 6th.
Well, the sweep chant from the fans here in Oakland.
Popped up right side. Ellis into short right. In comes Payton. He'll handle all 3 outs. And the Red Sox are swept by the Oakland A's after being swept by the Seattle Mariners. Mercifully for the Red Sox, the end of this West Coast trip. As the Oakland A's win the final game 7-2 behind home runs from Kelty and Ellis. And the pitching of Barry Zito here today as the Red Sox drop this one 7-2. WB Mason's extra innings right around the corner, so stay with us. Jerry and I'll be back here in Oakland after this.
And the Red Sox swept out of Oakland 7-2. The play of the game is brought to you by Foxwoods Resort Casino. Back in the 3rd inning, Mark Ellis with the home run off Kurt Schilling's curveball. Ellis had a home run, a triple, and a double in this ball game today. day for the Oakland second baseman.
So the West Coast trip is over, and a tough one for the Red Sox. For Jerry Remy and Tina Cervasio, I'm Don Orsillo saying good afternoon from Oakland. Log on to NESN.com, the ultimate destination for scores, news, video, and analysis. This has been a presentation of NESN, New England's most watched sports network. It's time now for WB Mason's Extra Innings with Tom Caron and Gary D.